Have you ever wondered where the line is between a delicious meal and a survival challenge? What might seem like a regular dinner to you or me, a plate of pasta, grilled meat, or tacos, is considered plain in other corners of the planet. For millions of people, true culinary luxury includes deadly venomous fish, crunchy insects harvested under the moonlight, or dishes that literally move inside your mouth. Eating isn't just about nutrition, it's history, geography, and biology. Today, we aren't just scratching the surface. We're taking an in-depth journey through 7 of the most exotic, strange, and highly prized dishes in the world. We'll explore their origins, how they're prepared, why people love them, and what happens to your body if you dare to try them. Get comfortable, because this culinary journey will either build up your appetite or turn your stomach. Let's dive in. Our first stop brings us to Mexico. When we think of Mexican cuisine, tacos, guacamole, or mole usually come to mind. But in states like Hidalgo, Tlaxcala, and the state of Mexico, there's a pre-Hispanic dish that costs hundreds of dollars per kilogram: escamoles. Escamoles are the edible larvae and pupae of a specific species of velvet tree ant, Limatopum apiculatum. This isn't a new trend. Aztec emperors were already consuming them as an unmatched source of energy long before the Spanish arrived. Harvesting them, however, is an absolute nightmare. These ants build their nests underground, beneath the roots of agave and nopal cacti. To collect them, harvesters known as escamoleros have to dig during March and April while fending off thousands of highly aggressive ants with extremely painful bites. Once extracted, the larvae are washed with extreme care because they are incredibly delicate. Traditional preparation is surprisingly elegant. They are sautéed in a pan with butter, chopped poblano pepper, onion, and epazote. They don't need much else because their natural flavor is subtle and creamy, featuring nutty and buttery notes. Because harvesting is 100% manual, happens only once a year, and demand in high-end restaurants is sky-high, a kilo of escamoles can easily exceed $100 to $150 USD, earning them the nickname Mexican caviar. We cross the Pacific Ocean to land in Japan and discover the most dangerous dish on earth, fugu, or blowfish. Here, dining isn't just a sensory experience, it's a literal game of Russian roulette. Blowfish store a lethal toxin in their ovaries, liver, skin, and intestines called tetrodotoxin. This poison is up to 1,200 times more potent than cyanide. A single fish contains enough toxin to kill 30 adult humans. And the worst part? There is no known antidote. The toxin paralyzes muscles while the victim remains fully conscious until dying of asphyxiation. So, why would anyone pay over $200 to eat it? For the mastery and texture. In Japan, not just any chef can cook fugu. They must study for over 3 years and pass a notoriously difficult exam where, in the final test, they must prepare the fish and eat it themselves in front of the judges. The chef removes the deadly organs without puncturing them, preventing the poison from contaminating the white meat. It is commonly served as sashimi, fugu sashi, sliced so thin that the pattern of the plate shines through. Those who have tried it say it leaves a slight tingling or numbing sensation on the lips due to microscopic traces of toxin, triggering an instant rush of adrenaline. We travel now to the streets of the Philippines, Vietnam, and Cambodia. If you walk through Manila after 6 p.m., you'll hear street vendors shouting baluyast. This is undoubtedly one of the dishes that causes the biggest cultural shock for Western travelers. Balu is a fertilized duck, or chicken, egg. Unlike a normal egg, this one isn't consumed within days of being laid. It is incubated for 14 to 21 days before being boiled. By the time it's cooked, the embryo inside has already developed soft bones, a beak, feathers, and tiny claws. Eating balu follows a specific ritual. First, crack the top of the shell. Sip the warm broth inside, which tastes like a concentrated chicken consommé. Season the interior with salt, vinegar, and chile. Using a spoon or your fingers, eat the embryo along with the yolk. In Filipino culture, balut is viewed as a nourishing food, rich in calcium and protein, and a favorite street food after a few beers. While its appearance can be shocking, locals insist the taste is a rich, creamy hybrid between a hard-boiled egg and a savory poultry soup. Asterisk. Europe is no stranger to culinary oddities. We travel to the beautiful island of Sardinia in Italy. A cheese is produced here so extreme that the European Union declared it illegal for commercial sale due to health regulations, queso marzu, which literally translates to rotten cheese. Asterisk. It all starts with traditional pecorino cheese, made from sheep's milk. However, cheesemakers leave the wheels outdoors and cut holes in the top to attract the cheese fly, Pyophila casei. The flies lay thousands of eggs inside the cheese. When the larvae hatch, they begin feeding on the cheese and digesting it. The enzymes produced by the maggots' digestive systems break down the fats, transforming the hard texture into a soft, gooey, weeping liquid paste known as lagrima, tears. Asterisk. Here's the wild part: the cheese is eaten while the maggots are still alive. If the maggots are dead, the cheese is considered spoiled and toxic. These tiny 8mm larvae can jump up to 15 centimeters, 6 inches, when threatened, so diners usually cover their eyes with their hands while eating. Those who have tried it claim it has an intensely strong, pungent, spicy flavor that lingers on the palate for hours. Despite fines of up to €50,000 for selling it, Sardinian shepherds continue to make it clandestinely to keep their ancient tradition alive. Asterisk. We head to South Korea to talk about sunakji, a dish where the food refuses to go down without a fight. There's a popular belief that the octopus is eaten whole and alive. In reality, restaurants use a small octopus, nakji, that is killed right before serving. However, the nerve cells in the octopus's arms continue to send electrical impulses long after death. Asterisk. The tentacles are chopped into small pieces, drizzled with sesame oil and seeds, and served immediately. The pieces squirm wildly on the plate. When put into your mouth, the suction cups are still active, sticking to your tongue, roof of your mouth, and most dangerously, your throat. If you don't chew each piece thoroughly, a suction cup can adhere to your esophagus or airway and cause choking. Several choking incidents are reported every year in Korea due to this dish. The key to eating it is to chew quickly and hard, enjoying the chewy texture and salty sea flavor paired with toasted sesame oil. Asterisk. Let's travel to the freezing north, to the island of Iceland, where there is an ancient dish so aggressive to the senses that even seasoned chefs refuse to taste it: mackerel, or fermented Greenland shark meat. To understand this dish, we have to go back to the age of the Vikings. In the frozen and harsh Icelandic lands, food was scarce during long winters, so locals had to make use of the massive muscle mass of the Greenland shark. However, this shark lacks kidneys and a traditional urinary system, meaning it filters urea and waste directly through its own muscles and skin. Consuming the fresh meat of this species is lethal, as it is packed with trimethylamine oxide and concentrated urea, acting essentially as a neurotoxin. To make it edible, Icelanders developed an extreme method. They behead the shark, bury it in gravel trenches, and place heavy stones on top to squeeze out all the toxic fluids for months. Then, the meat is hung to dry outdoors for nearly half a year. Although the process neutralizes the deadly poison, the end result is a creamy mass with a pungent odor of pure ammonia and cleaning products, capable of triggering severe nausea or immediate choking for anyone not accustomed to it. And well, that brings us to the end of this incredible journey. Global gastronomy never ceases to amaze us, and today it showed us that food is about much more than just taste. It's history, bravery, and culture. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Imagine for a second that you have a fully paid plane ticket in your hand right now and the chance to try one of these 5 dishes with all expenses covered. Which one would you pick without thinking twice, and which one would you be absolutely terrified of? Leave it down in the comments. I love reading your answers and discovering how bold your palates are. If you enjoyed this deep and extensive journey through the world's most extreme traditions, support me by giving this video a big like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell either. It's the best way to ensure YouTube notifies you as soon as we upload our next adventure. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end of this video. Take care, and I'll see you at our next stop.